Dean, how did the punters look?
A lot better. Coach Matt Sakis is doing the averages every single day, and our guys have been right around. Both guys have been right around 42 yards, or so. Matt's had a little bit better hang time, but the averages have been way better than spring practice. So really pleased with those guys, and then just we got more, flexibility now with some of the variety of things that we can do.
So you anticipate using them both, or is it?
It depends how camp, plays out and how the season goes. It's always difficult. I've been always been on the defensive side of the ball, and I couldn't tell you how many times you're preparing for one quarterback and another guy shows up, or they got two quarterbacks. It's a tough animal, and it's really the same thing. You got a punter that's really good at rugby or doing some other stuff, and a guy that's pocket, and a guy that's does this a little bit better than that one, and then it's tough to get a game plan together to do that. So that's definitely not out of the question.
I think a lot of people maybe projected Matt as a pin 'em deep in short fields kind of situation, but does he have the leg to do all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at Columbia, it's what Matt's specialty was. He was a guy, you get in that gray zone area there and you want to pin him in there. That was what he was really good at. But he can rugby, and with his Aussie background, it's not just what we think of as rugby. A 25 to 32 yard ball that hits and rolls and keeps that punt returner off balance. He can rugby it and go for distance. He can rugby it and bring it to the other side of the field. So he brings more to it than just the rugby and the short stuff. And he's getting better at the pocket stuff. A little different. He's getting it out there in his own way, but he's hitting some that 42 yard average. There's pocket punts in there as well.
How do you feel about your cover team and athletic ability and fullback coverage?
Really good. I feel like we got the right guys on there. We've got a good mix of guys that are in the two deep or even starters on offense or defense, and then the guys that are really, really skilled, but they're packed up at a position. We're deep at a position, and they're not getting a lot of playing time because we're deep somewhere, and they're finding their home on special teams. So it's a nice mix of ones, twos, and threes, all with ability. And our coaches, you want to talk about being blessed. I'm special teams coordinator. I got Coach Matt Sakis doing a lot of the off the field stuff, with his background. And then I got Coach House and Coach Grand, both former special teams coordinators, that when we break up and do stuff, hey, Coach Grand, you take the left side, Coach House, you take the right side. You want to talk about, hitting a homer. I just been really, really blessed coming here. So we've got unbelievable people working with them, and then I think we got the right kids in the right spots, and those guys having the eye that they do, they've been just a wonderful help with identifying, hey, I think this kid would be better at a guard, or this kid would be better at an R2 because he's got some wiggle, or all those kind of things with that expert eye.
Do you anticipate Lynn Bowden playing a role in the return game?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be all up to Coach Stoops and how that kind of plays out, and what he's going to do with him. But we're not at that point yet. We're getting there. Pretty soon. And Coach Stoops and I just talked about it a couple days ago, that it's getting closer to that point where I say, okay, Coach Stoops, here's what I got for the depth chart. Tell me which guys you're going to hold. Tell me which guys are yes, green light. Go ahead and go. And that's a tough balancing act. For a head coach, is deciding which guys I think just aren't quite ready, and the best thing for him in the program is to put them on the shelf, and which guys I think are game ready and can help us and make an impact for us. So that's a tough gig, but it's not there yet, but it's getting to that point where Coach Stoops will make those decisions.
What goes into the decision-making process to narrow your kind of pick of the litter when it comes to returners?
When it comes to returners, well, the first thing is catching the ball. I mean, that one's easy. We say they're punt returners, they're punt catchers. We say they're kick returners, they're kick catchers. So that's number one, is who is skilled at catching the ball and then possessing the ball. I've seen plenty of times where you got a dynamic defensive guy and he can't possess the ball. He's turning that thing over there after, a good return. So you got to have guys that can catch the ball, guys that can possess the ball. And then, the skill set. You have got to have incredible vision and patience. It sounds wrong because you think that you have a longer time to catch the ball on kickoff return than you do, but you actually need more patience on punt return catching the ball, because those guys are on you so quickly. If you make a decision right now and you make it wrong, it's a bad day. So you actually need more patience at that punt return position after the catch. And then you need the natural running back, type of skills of being able to see a hole and see a crease and hit it and put your foot in the ground and all that kind of stuff.
Special teams, how much do you anticipate in the scrimmage this Saturday, special teams work?
Whatever the head man tells me. But if it goes kind of like spring ball did, we got some pretty good reps early on punt. That's the one that usually you lead with, and then you kind of work your way to working the rest of them in there. So punts usually first, field goal block is usually a close second, and then it's just kind of head coach preference of how you sprinkle those in there, because you do have to get them in. You do have to get some reps at them. You do need to be careful with just how violent a kickoff and kickoff return team going against each other is, and all that type of stuff. But I would imagine you'll see that first scrimmage, you'll see field goal block against each other, and you'll see the punt team out there.
I think at EKU, did you all not have, forgive me for one more, trick play on a punt where your punter kicked the ball to
Yeah,
was that you?
it was. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it was me, but it was us. It was the. It's actually the first time that's ever been done in the history of college football. I had an Aussie punter named Jordan Berry's punting for the Steelers right now, and we went 2 years. And the Aussies, they have a hard time throwing the ball because they don't throw it; they do everything with their feet. That's the game. And so for 2 years, we had a deal where had multiple formations. So if a guy was uncovered out there, alert, snap the ball to Barry, and he'd throw it out there. So for 2 years now, he's young, freshman, sophomore, and I'm giving him a hard time about, dude, you're just awful. You just, your arm is rag, it's terrible. And, he took it, he had to take it. He's a freshman and a sophomore, and he's from foreign countries. So he took it for about 2 years. And then his junior year, I got on him about one. He goes, well, shit, coach, I can punt it out there better than I can throw it. And I said, okay, Billy Bad Butt, let me see you. And he caught it, and he went, boom, boom, punt it right out there to him, and it was perfect. So then I timed him, throw it out there, and I timed him. Punt it out there, timed him. Not even close. How much faster and more accurate he was punting the ball to him. So I was like, Barry, can we do that? And he goes, I don't know, coach. Well, then he comes into the meeting the next day with the rule book, and a ball punted behind the line of scrimmage can be advanced by either team. So it actually was better than a throw. Because, if you throw it out there and a guy mishandles it and drops it, you're done. If he misses it, you're done. If you punt it out there, he could hit him in the chest, fall on the ground, he can pick it up and advance it. So when actually it happened in a game, it was by accident. I took a lot of flack from that, but it actually was by accident because it was an automatic, and it was late in the game, and we were playing Moorhead, and we were well ahead, and there was a guy uncovered, and I wasn't even paying attention. I was jacking around on the sideline, talking to some guys, and all of a sudden I hear alert, and I'm like, oh my God! And I look out there, and Barry took it, and punted it to Trey Thomas, and got a first down. Never been done in the history of college football.
Do you have that in the playbook here?
We have not worked on that yet, but don't tell anybody. Just let everybody out there know we've been working on it a bunch. Watch the Moorhead game from whatever year that was.
Dean, we've heard a lot about Josh Pascal so far. Give us somebody else that stands out. Somebody that.
I tell you, I love all our freshmen. I thought our vets came back in shape and physical and hungry and learning more, getting better. And then I loved all three of our freshman guys from first day getting out there. Their attentiveness, their attention to detail, how hard they worked. Josh Pascal, Jordan Wright, Alex King, all three of those kids I think are have a bright future and really enjoying working with those guys. Now Josh got a little dinged, and so he hadn't been practicing the last couple of days or so. But Jordan Wright and Alex King's been getting a ton of reps, and those kids are getting better. Really like all three of those young guys.